Listen. Short story long.
Welcome.
It could take your whole life.
Preach.
Develop clarity.
Second, patience.
If it scared you, you should probably do it.
Whatever you think you don't have, you have something else in its place.
Listen. Short story long.
Go, Woody, go.
Preach.
Listen.
Welcome.
Grant, thanks for making this happen, man.
Dude, come on, man. I need to get a little clock like that, by
That's
the way.
good. The clock is good.
I need a clock like that. I don't know why we don't have one.
Yes,
Ryan, can you take a picture of that clock? 'Cause I had to come all the way to the West Coast to say, shit, that's the clock.
There you go, man.
Thank you, brother.
Learn
Appreciate
something new. I'll send you the link on where to get that.
Yeah.
And the key is you keep it within eye line so that you don't look like you're checking the time, like you're bored.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's what I do.
It must be an old counselor's
Yeah.
trick.
So then you know, kind of like, oh, I'm getting there.
Psychologist selling the 60 minutes for
It is
doing
that.
50 minutes.
It's
And I got to get out of here. I'm tired of listening to this guy's shit.
There you go. Therapist trick.
Yeah.
So I know you're only in LA for a couple of days, and I appreciate you, making time on the.
How you
on
like
the
my
schedule.
car that I drove up in?
Oh, man. So you'll see guys on my Instagram. Grant pulled up in some sort of monster truck.
6x6 Mercedes Brabus.
Yeah.
So look, let me tell you the story, like how this
Please.
happened. Okay. Like when I was growing up, dude. Like I didn't have. My first car was like a $1,500 car. Today, nobody knew me. Anybody that knew me in Lake Charles, Louisiana, where I grew up, knew I was just trouble.
Yeah.
I get to LA. I'm in LA. This guy calls Alan. And I think you know my guy Alan over at my office.
Yeah.
Alan hits me this morning and says, hey, this dude named RD, I don't know who RD is, with Wires Only. I said, I don't know who Wires Only is. He wants to give you a damn 6x6 Mercedes. And first thing I do is like, I don't want anybody giving me anything.
Right? It always feels a little
He's like, no, Grant, the guy wants to get, he's a fan of the 10X rule. Yeah. And sure enough, this guy drives up to Equinox where we're working out, drops off this 6x6. It's $1 million. That truck's $1.5 million.
Really?
$1.5 million. Okay. He drops the truck off to me. He says, here's the keys. Enjoy it. By the way, I got a friend that wants to talk to you. He's on the phone. And it's Jamie Foxx on a FaceTime.
Only in LA, man.
Only in LA, dude. I'm like, what a freaking city.
What did Jamie Foxx say?
He says, hey, I want to do something with Jamie. I tried to get him at our last 10X Growth Conference in Miami. And it just didn't get through his agent, or he was busy doing a movie, whatever those guys do, right? Yeah. And so, but anyway, we're talking to him about now maybe possibly doing a little piano and entrepreneurship at the next one.
Oh, that's so good. Yeah, man, LA.
I love that guy.
That's the magic of LA.
It is magical, man.
Yeah. So also too, you kind of mentioned like your story a little bit and like your upbringing in that, and I'm really curious about that because obviously I know your content pretty well, and you do a really good job at like sort of showing what's possible. You know what I mean? And even like when you pulled up in that truck, I'm going to be honest, as I know you, but not that well.
I wasn't driving, by the way. I'm sitting in the passenger
Even better.
seat.
But that's how I would expect Grant Cardone to pull up to a podcast.
Oh wow!
Right?
Wow.
That's the thing you got.
Oh wow!
So,
see, I don't see that.
Yeah, you do,
that's interesting.
Man. But that's the sort of thing that you've created, and my biggest curiosity and why I do this podcast is always like how you got to that. How does, you know what I mean? So where did you grow up? I know you said Louisiana. What was childhood like?
Yeah,
brothers and sisters, mom,
so
dad.
I'm 4 out of 5 kids.
Wow.
The fourth and fifth were twins. So I'm like 5 minutes from being fifth.
Got it.
So there's an older sister and then 5 years later another sister, and then 5 years later every kid was 5 years apart. I didn't get it until I was like 25 that they were planned. My parents were planning. They were very. It must have been finances.
Yeah.
My dad was he was very financially what would the word be, responsible, and it was important to him. It was important to get the finances right. So they waited 5 years. So there was 3 kids. Then my dad was, I guess, 42 when they found out. This is a very important part of my story because he was 42, lost his life insurance company that he had started. His partners took him out. It was a surprise to him. I wouldn't know this for years after he died, but he's 42, and then his wife comes to him, my mother, and says, "We're pregnant."
Oh man,
he's like, a fourth child, man, I can't do this right now. We're in transition, you know? And she's like, no, not a fourth and a fifth.
And every other one was perfectly planned, and this was
And then
the one.
boom, you know?
Oh, man.
So anyway, so here he's 42 years old, dude. He's in transition. He's got to go from being a life insurance guy to not knowing what he's going to do.
Yeah.
He's running his house on a budget. We live in a little house, 1,400 square feet. It's a little brick house.
Yeah.
They were proud of it. I mean, it was better than where they came from, Italian immigrants, you know, and 1,400 square feet. And you know, it was good until my dad died. My dad died when I was 10. So then the income stopped.
Yep.
And everybody got terrified.
And what did I'm sorry, what was the age gap between you and the oldest sibling?
15 years. It was 15 years, 10 years, and 5 years. So I had an older brother. The last 3 kids were boys.
Got it.
My older brother was 5 years older than me. He was a silver-tongued devil, dude. He
Yeah.
was like, oh my God. I was like, God, if I could ever talk like him, if I can ever speak the way that dude, if I can ever persuade people the way that guy does, I'm going to be awesome.
Really?
Oh my God. I was like,
What's he do now?
he's dead. He died when he was 25.
Oh, man. And
So
do
I
you think
had
you
a bunch
picked
of
up any of
losses.
that? You think you picked up that?
I don't know. You know, the childhood was like, it was better than probably 50% of the people's childhoods, but it was, you know, the death of you losing your dad when you're 10 years old. It's like, he was the dude for me.
Yeah.
And then 10 years later, I lost my older brother. Mm-hmm. I was talking to my older brother Sunday night. I was in a lot of trouble at the age of 20. Mm-hmm. I was doing drugs every day. I was dealing drugs. I was a mess, dude.
Yeah.
And I called my brother. He was in Grand Junction, Colorado. And I said, hey, man, I'm thinking about doing this deal. I could make some money on it. And what do you think? He's like, man, don't do the deal.
Was it like a drug deal?
It was a drug deal.
You got it.
You know, and he's like, don't do the deal. Just leave the deal alone. I was going to get a bunch of weed or something. I forget what he's like, don't do the deal, man. Mm-hmm. Okay. I said, man, I got to get my money right. You know, the struggles, dude, of being a young kid. And I didn't have any direction. I didn't have an older brother telling me what to do. I didn't have a dad telling me what to do. I was lost. I was bored most of the time. I hated school. Yeah. And I wanted to start being a success. Yeah. And since 10, I felt like I was just a loser. 10 years of just losing. And my brother said, don't do the deal. So I called the guy up and said, I'm not doing the deal, man. Mm-hmm. My brother was dead the next day. Sunday night, he says, don't do the deal.
Not related. He just
nothing related. Nothing. No.
Damn. So he just kind of left you with like that final.
No, it was wow. It was like, don't do the deal. And then he was on a gas well. He was a petroleum engineer. He was on a gas well, and the gas well, there was an accident, and he was like just a freak accident.
And so I'm guessing that didn't help your depression or feelings of.
No. It's like, okay, life is short. Like I start like doing all these calculations. Life is short. People die around you. Mm-hmm. Like I have friends that they've never lost anybody until they were like in their 50s. Like they're like, oh, my dad died. I can't believe it. I'm like, what'd you think?
Yeah.
Dude, people don't live forever. Like I knew that when I was 10. I knew I got hit again when I was 15, hit again when I was 20. So to me, it's always been, I never thought I'd be 25 years old.
Yeah. You just didn't, it just didn't look like.
I'm like, there's no way people live till they're 25 years old. Like, because first of all, I was my brother and my dad, they weren't having the kind of problems in life I was having. Mm-hmm. I was a full-blown drug degrade addict by 23 years old, 16. Started smoking weed when I was 16. I'm doing Tyson's show today.
Oh, man.
So I know he's going to be
incredible.
in the box smoking, right? Yeah. He's going to be like, hey, Grant, you want to smoke? Grant, what do you want to? I'm like, yeah, I do want to, but I ain't gonna.
Yeah.
Because, dude, it just, all drugs were a problem for me.
Yeah. And do you think that was, I have so many questions about this phase because I think it's so important to come from that to what you are now is incredible, right? And that's what I really want to sort of wrap my head around. Do you think that, what got you into that? Was it a feeling of?
No. What got me into it was my twin brother was with a guy named Brian and Russell.
I went too deep. You're like, no, I'll tell you, it was my fucking brother.
And my twin brother's smoking weed with him, and I didn't want to get left out. Mm-hmm. I knew it was wrong. Not wrong socially or morally or because of the law.
Yeah.
It was wrong for me. I knew it was wrong for me. I don't need to read a book or a pamphlet or get a doctor's opinion about something to know what's right or wrong for me.
Yeah.
I knew the first time I smoked weed, I'm like, dude, you do not want to do this. But I did it.
And then that just is more weed.
I didn't get loaded the first time for whatever reason. Must have been cheap weed.
Yeah.
And then the next time I got loaded, dude, and I could feel, I was like, whoa. And then I was smoking weed every day.
And then did that lead to other stuff?
And I was dealing weed.
Got it.
Because I was like, well, I can make $80 like this. Yeah. I've always been an entrepreneur.
Yeah.
Like I've always thought about money since I was. I remember watching my dad. I'm like, oh, if you have money, you got control.
Yeah.
Whoever had control, whoever had the money had control. So I've always been interested in money, and and so when I said, hey, I can smoke a little, get a little.
Yeah. And that's why I think it's such a shame. I think a lot of the people that are in trouble in jail and drug problems, they're entrepreneurs at heart too. You just get like
they're looking for a game,
head down the wrong path, man, and shit starts adding up.
Who doesn't want to play Monopoly?
Yeah.
Right. And so when you get in any game that you can win, where there's barriers and there's a way to play the game and a way you can score.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know. Next thing you know, I'm 16 years old. You know, I'm dealing a bag of weed here, picking up $50, whatever. Next thing you know, I'm 23 years old. I'm doing it every day, dude. It's a way of life now. But I'm eating pills. I'm waking up in the morning. I'm eating, you know, Valium every day, 30 milligrams of Valium, hundreds of milligrams of amphetamines every day.
Yeah.
5 grams of cocaine at the height of my drug addiction. 5 grams of cocaine a day.
Yeah. Jesus. And what are you doing?
The only thing I didn't do is shoot drugs.
Yeah, well, thank God.
And it was just probably another 3 months before that was. And then I went to a treatment center because my mom's like, I can't do this anymore.
And what were you doing other than, were you just pretty much dealing drugs, hanging out, and doing drugs? Was there any did you have any other?
Yeah, I was going to college.
Were you doing well?
I got through.
Jesus. During all that?
Yeah. Oh yeah. I was in law. I've never told this story. I'm in a law class. I'm in the back row of a law class. I still remember the book. It was a black book. I forget the name of it, but it was a black cover. And I'm in the back. I got, I don't know, 2 or 3 grams of cocaine on me at all times. And I'm in the back. I got the book open. He's going over whatever, you know, and I'm back there snorting freaking lines during the class.
And you made it through.
Dude, I don't know how I made it through.
And so you graduated and still, you didn't clean up and then graduate. You graduated while doing all that.
I was in sales. So I was selling, like I didn't want to, nobody wants to deal drugs. Like,
yeah.
You know, Jay-Z did not want to deal drugs. 50 Cent didn't want to deal. Anybody's out there dealing drugs right now, you don't want to. We had people at our conference, 10X Growth Conference, the number 3 Coke dealer in Miami was at the 10X Growth Conference. He's like, I got a 10X, you know?
Yeah.
And I said, dude, you just need to find a different avenue, bro.
Yeah.
You need a clothing line.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
you picked clothes, right?
Yeah.
Right. I picked education later.
Yeah.
And so I don't know, you know, what I was doing or why I was doing it, but I was like I was either trying to make money legitimately or pay for my drug habit. Look, I wasn't trying to make money at the end.
Yeah.
I was just trying to pay for my drugs.
Yeah. Jesus. Okay, so then eventually it was your mom that came and said like,
my
yo,
mom
man.
said at 25 years old, she said, with 23, I got beat up really bad.
For what? Just being out and about?
With drugs.
Yeah.
Yeah, you
like
know,
robbed?
with bad people. No, with bad people.
Yeah.
You know, a little more.
Yeah. Like beat up, like hospital beat up.
Like 70 stitches in my head and face, in the hospital for 3 days. Like all these scars over both eyes, under the eyes, over the lip. 70 stitches in the top of my head. I'll never shave my head because it's tracked up. Yeah. So you would have thought, that was 23, you would have thought I'd have quit then. But I'd be another 2 years. I didn't quit until my mom said, never come around me again.
And she just finally had enough.
She said, I can't do this. I can't do it anymore. I'm done with you. It was the greatest gift that anybody's ever given me.
Yeah.
Literally, I was rebirthed. It was almost more important than the original birthing, because I'm like, okay, good, I got it. And then I walked away, and within probably 3 days, I was in a treatment center. for drug addiction.
It's amazing that like you can get like beat up, you can have all these like things happen to you, but it's not until that one thing. You know what I mean? Like your mom saying.
But dude, all along the way, look, I hated myself. Like the thing that people don't talk about drugs, they talk about what it does to your mind and how bad it is for you and blah blah. The degradation, the self deprivation and degradation and self-loathing that goes along with being a drug addict is like so brutal.
Yeah.
I quit every day. I'm always telling people don't quit. I quit don't quit quitting.
Yeah.
Even trying to quit. Like I was quitting every day. Every day I would quit probably 10 or 15 times a day.
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm not going to do drugs. I do them and then say, I'm not going to do them again.
Yeah.
And then do them.
Yeah.
And so I did that for probably 10 years. I quit 10 times a day for 10 years.
Yeah.
That's really 10X.
Yeah.
And then one day, boom, it finally clicked. And one day, I never used drugs again.
And this is obviously way out of my league of a question to try to answer or even do it here, but like, I believe, and part of my motivation for doing all this type of content, whatever, is because I agree with you 100% that it's obviously not the drugs, it's not the whatever, it's the deeper issue, right? And we can obviously look back at it now at your life and say, man, that's crazy. Like you had no self-worth, you did this, you did that. What could someone do? Like if someone's listening to this right now and they're in that, they've just quit for the 10th time today and they popped on this podcast, like is it that you go find something else that you can grab your self-worth from? Like start.
No, well, what I would tell you is to what the treatment center and the counselor and look, they're going to tell you, like they told me, and I believed it for a while. I did, but I didn't. Is look, you're a drug addict. You can't help it. You're powerless. It's in your genetic code, and you have no control over it. Now I'm going to tell you right now that I believe that to be complete garbage and bullshit.
Yeah.
So if I was a drug addict and it's completely out of my control, then I would have had to use drugs today.
Yeah.
And I didn't. So using drugs is a choice.
Yeah.
I would tell you, and I would tell everybody that has that addictive nature is congratulate yourself and pat yourself on the back that you have the ability to be addicted to something.
Yeah.
And take that addiction, dude, and put it into something unbelievable.
Yeah.
Because every super successful person that I have studied and or met has the ability to be obsessed with something to the point of losing sleep.
Yeah.
To the point of I don't need to eat. I'll go in debt. I'll go bankrupt. I'll go down with the ship to make this thing happen. And that's really what turned my whole life around was just flipping the addiction, not trying to not be in control, not trying to turn it all over, just saying, hey, I'm going to take this energy and I'm going to dump it into work.
Yeah. And so what was that? So you go through treatment, you get out. I'm sure there's a lot of like...
Yeah, the next day, what I did when I got home, I had a job that I hated, and I just threw myself into that job that I hated. I said, I'm going to get great at this job, a car salesman.
Got it. So
And
you're
I
like,
said-
it's a challenge. I'm going to take it.
I said, well, nobody else would hire me, so I didn't. It's not like I could go looking
Yeah.
for another job. I couldn't suddenly be an engineer or run for mayor, right? So I said, hey, I have this job. They let me come back. I was grateful they let me come back. And I went in, threw myself into this job. And next thing you know, dude, I go from a job I hated to the top 1% of salesmen in the automobile industry.
And was that
nationwide?
For the most part, was that the change of just giving a shit?
Yeah, I
Like you didn't
committed.
go-
I just committed. I'm going to get good at this job. If I was sweeping, if I would have been at McDonald's flipping French fries, I think had that been the transition, I think I would probably own 50 or 60 McDonald's franchises today.
Yeah.
I just said, rather than looking for something I like, let me just get good at something I hate.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's been a really, really powerful thing for me to do in my life. Because I hear guys talk about it all the time. They don't do stuff they don't like. They don't do anything they like. I
That's
said,
big, especially young people now.
dude, I do shit every day I don't want to do.
That's why I think that like teaching people to like dream and chase your dreams and passion. And I don't want to say it's not stupid, but it's dangerous because I've met a lot of young people that are like, I don't know, I'm just waiting to find my passion. And then I'm a hustler.
Yeah.
But right now, I just haven't found it.
I've never chased my passion.
Yeah. What have you chased?
I've chased money.
Yeah.
And then I hear people talk about money. Don't chase the money thing. Dude, I know money is something I can measure. Passion, I do not know how to measure that.
Yeah.
I don't know how to measure happiness. I don't know, I'm a happy guy. I mean, it's not like I'm unhappy.
You don't seem unhappy.
But I've been chasing stuff I can measure.
Well, I also believe that like part of passion can kind of lead you in the direction, but it's the personal growth that all of the good stuff comes from. So like finding something you can grow at, even if it's going to the gym and saying, all right, I'm going to master this workout by June. Or I'm going to run a marathon by July, or whatever it is. Like something
measurable.
Realizing you can make a change and be worth something is the thing that can like change people's lives. I feel like.
I totally agree with that. The problem is a lot of times, like I see guys that go to the gym and they're there 4 and 5 hours and they don't have their finances right.
Yeah.
I'm like, dude, you got to go get your finances right because no matter what physical shape you're in, if that's the deal, you on this planet, no one gets away from the money game.
Yeah.
You have to pay the bills. These lights cost money. This place, when I walked in the studio, I'm like, I wonder what this studio costs. Yeah. Like everything to me is what does something cost?
Yeah.
So whether you pay for it or whether you didn't get it, what is the opportunity cost? Yeah. And so I think too many young people today don't have their attention on the prize.
Yeah, I agree.
And the prize costs money. The prize is not money. The prize isn't money. The prize costs money.
Yeah. Yeah, I just think there's a lot of like lofty thinking of like, you know, it's dreaming and it's one day it's just going to click for me. And if I do this, I'm going to find my passion and I'm going to be the next, you know, whatever, hip hop star or artist.
And a lot of that is just misinformation. People are being told all these beautiful memes on Instagram, do what you love and the money will follow.
Yeah.
That's even said by some very successful people like Steve Jobs, I think said that. But he said it after he scored. He wasn't saying that on his way up the food chain.
Yeah, yeah.
He was scrapping for money and deals.
Yeah, that's true. So you turn it on, you become this incredible car salesman, even though you don't even.
And I hated it, dude. I hated the whole 7 years I did it. Like it's not like I loved any moment of it.
Yeah. So what do you do from that? So I'm guessing that must have given you some fuel. Like, oh shit, I can accomplish some stuff.
Yeah, well, it proved to me I don't have to use drugs. Number two, it proved to me, hey, I can start putting money together. Yep. That's what the interesting thing was. I was starting to put money together. I was starting to save money. I'm like, okay, now if I can make $100,000 a year, now my next target was, my first target was I was making $2,500 a month. If I could just make another $1,000. Yeah. I remember that when I went from $2,500 to $3,500, it was the best money I ever made in my whole
100%.
life. The most important money I ever made was with $1,000.
Yep.
And then I had $100,000. I'm like, man, one day, and again, I confess that I've always liked money. Like I've always liked the idea of having some money. Yep. I remember saying, if I could ever make $10,000 a year in passive income, this would now lead me into this world of real estate one day. If I could ever make $10,000 a year, that was my big target in passive income. And then I got it. I figured out how to do that, right? And since then, over the last 25 years now, it's just continued. I continue to look for avenues and ways, whether it's owning a business or buying real estate, to try to improve my financial lot in life.
And I'm guessing you probably still think the same way. As far as right now, you're probably thinking, for 2019, if I could only get $100 million in real estate, like it's still the same thing, just different levels. Totally, right?
It's always been. You know, here's the target.
Yeah.
Like the target's always kept me from using drugs again.
Yeah.
The target's always kept me from, if I'm bored, I'm in trouble. I mean, boredom has been the number one issue for me in my life. It has not been the loss of my dad or my brother.
Yeah.
Like the psychologist will say, that's why you became a drug guy. And, you know, but that's not true. Boredom was always the biggest issue for me. If I'm bored, I'm not going to use drugs today, but I will go get in trouble. I guarantee you. You give me enough 3 or 4 or 5 hours of no activity.
Yeah.
My wife knows this. Ryan knows it.
I noticed it, man. You came to LA for 2 days to just hang out, and you couldn't help it. You posted on Instagram, anyone got a podcast, I'm down to do it. I'm guessing you got podcasts all day today.
Dude, all day. I got 10, 11, 12, 2:30 with Tyson, and tonight Steve Harvey, and we're having dinner together. Like, I want to keep moving.
Yeah.
Like I like the movement.
Yep. And is there anything? Did you have any technique or anything now that, if you do get bored, like what keeps you focused? Do you have goals written out?
I write my goals down. I try to write my goals down every morning.
Oh, you actually rewrite it every morning?
I rewrite every morning. Yeah. To me, writing something down one time and then looking at it every day, well, that's yesterday's goals.
Yeah.
If I write it again today, If you do this little exercise, you won't write the same thing down every day. And the things that don't make the list, you'll find out are really not the things that are important to you.
Yeah.
And they change, man. Like if you'd have asked me the last time we were together in Miami, hey Grant, what's the target for the real estate? Well, it's $1 billion.
Yeah.
Dude, we hit $1.2 billion already.
Yeah.
So I'm like, okay, what's the target? The target's now $10 billion.
Yeah.
So I'm going to hit $10 billion.
Yeah.
And
that was what I saw you four months ago.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So we everybody's underestimating what they can do.
Yeah.
I really believe that everybody you never imagined you would have done in clothing
No.
what you did.
Yeah. No chance. It's good. Do you have like a morning routine? I know
Yeah,
people are
I
big on
wake
that
up. First thing I do is I wake up.
Yeah.
That's my
So as
morning.
long as that goes okay.
As long as that goes, and then I take a piss.
Yeah.
And then what I like to do is on a perfect day, what I'll do is I'll get up before the sun gets up, rolls up, and then I'll write my goals down, grab a little bite to eat, go work out, and then get to the office. Yep. And that's good for Saturdays and Sundays too. So it's not like that's just when the office is open. Yeah. When I come to LA, beat the sun up, eat, we didn't grab food today, but I grabbed my workout and then grabbed some food on the way over here. Yeah. And got a car scored. Who would have thought?
You did, man. Yeah,
right?
you got a bonus.
Yeah.
And you made it. Now Jamie Foxx is your friend.
Yeah.
So then how did you find real estate? Or how did real estate find you?
So I remember I guess I was 6 or 7 years old. My dad on the weekend, he was a stockbroker. His transition from life insurance was into stocks.
Got it.
And on the weekends, he didn't take the family out looking at stocks. He took the family out looking at real estate. Got it. And I didn't put it together then, but later when you look back, you start putting stuff together. You're like, wait a minute, he was a stockbroker looking at real estate.
Yeah.
Why?
Yeah.
And because real estate's real. You know? And so I think I got used to like looking at real estate. I don't know, dude, but I've always had the bug.
Yep.
And I've met a lot of people that love real estate. Hey, you like sales? Nobody likes it.
Yeah.
You know? You like real estate? Everybody's like,
that's true.
Big population of people like it.
Yep.
And so I bought my first piece of real estate I bought when I was 27, 28 years old. Yep. Learned a lot from that first purchase.
Was it like a flip or how did
it was no, it wasn't a flip. Flipping wasn't a thing then.
Got it.
It was I bought this 1113 Sheffield Street. I remember almost every deal I've ever done by address.
Yeah.
And it was 1113 Sheffield, Bel Air, Texas. It was $78,000. I bought it with $3,500 down, rented it, made $200 a month.
Yep.
And I'm like, damn, I'm gonna get rich doing this shit.
Oh yeah.
Put $3,500 down. I got $2,400 back in the first year.
Yeah.
I'm gonna get rich. Problem is they moved out in the 6th month.
Yep.
Plan didn't quite execute as anticipated.
Yep.
I'm terrified in the 6th month because I have to make the whole payment.
Yep.
And I sold the house and rebooted my thinking about real estate and realized I had only understood part of the game, not all of it.
And so how'd you learn that? How'd you go learn
So
what
for
you
the
didn't
next,
know?
what I did was I started studying like at the top of the food chain, Sam Zell.
Yep.
These guys that created $1 billion portfolios. Donald Bren out here in Orange County. He owns all of Orange County. Yeah. Donald Bren owns more real estate than any other human being in the country.
Really?
Yeah. So these guys, I studied Fred Trump, Donald's dad. Yeah. These guys all had one thing in common. They never bought single family homes like I did. Yeah. They bought bought apartment buildings and/or built apartment buildings. So I started shopping apartments. I was living in Houston, Texas at the time. Had moved from Lake Charles, and every weekend I would shop. Every weekend or at night I would shop apartment buildings and learn about them.
Yep. And then, did you just like? I don't want to like shortchange the story, but I'm guessing that story is very long. How you then go from this to even getting in the game to where you're at now? Like, was it just the next goal, the next goal, the next goal? Learn.
Well, 3 years I shopped. I walked deals. I walked deals, looked at deals, talked to brokers, called brokers until I understood the game. 3 years. 3 years is a long time to do that every weekend.
Very long time.
And I'm studying deals. My homework was to study deals. walk deals, look at deals, call. Hey, how much is your rent there? How much is the 2-bedroom? What's a 1-bedroom? How many do you have vacant? How big is it, right? And then find out, what are the taxes there? Well, who manages the deal? Like, I didn't know anything. In the beginning, you don't know anything.
Yeah.
And mostly what I didn't know was what a good deal was. Yeah. You don't know what a good deal is. A good deal is not always what's on a piece of paper, by the way.
Yep.
And then you do that for 3 years, though, you'll know what a good deal is. Then I had actually moved from Houston in the meantime to San Diego. Yeah. When I got to San Diego, I looked back, compared to San Diego prices, Houston looked like, God damn, that was cheap. I should have bought everything.
Yeah.
When I was in San Diego, I was like, I should have bought everything. And the market was terrible at the time in Houston. And when I got to San Diego, I said to myself, if this ever happens again, if I ever have this sensation again, I'm going to buy real estate. Yeah. And about a year later, I was driving in downtown San Diego. I was with a buddy of mine, and I'm like, dude, I got that feeling. I need to start buying. And I bought my first deal 30 days later. It was 38 units.
In San Diego?
In San Diego. It was that deal was $1.9 million. I didn't put $3,500 down this time. I put $350,000 down.
Yeah, a different ballgame.
Put $350,000 down. 30 days later, I bought a 38 unit complex, and 90 days later, I bought 92 units. Jesus. So I was off to the real estate game. I thought I was a big shot, dude.
Of course.
Dude, I had 92, 38, 48, whatever that number is. I'm like, shit, I'm 160 units. We own 6,000 units today.
Yeah, I get it. But I mean, even if I had
got
160
600
units.
vacant today.
Yeah, that's
I had 4
crazy
times
to think
more
about.
vacancy than I owned real estate.
So the one thing that really gets me about that part of the story is in another reoccurring theme that I see in people, making errors in judgment is you were patient as shit. Mm-hmm. Why do you think you were so patient to be able to sit and learn?
I wasn't really patient. I was just scared.
Yeah, okay.
I didn't know anything, dude. Like, I didn't know enough.
Yeah.
So you can't move, you can't move. I was scared. I didn't want to lose money again. I didn't want to get back in that situation of owning something. I wanted to do a deal, but I knew I didn't know enough. Yeah. It's like playing blackjack, and you just don't know when the deck's good. Yeah. I know how to play the game. Yeah. I know what I should hit and what I shouldn't hit. But but in blackjack, if you don't know when the deck's good, then you're not going to know when to double down.
Yeah, I get it. Man.
And I did not know. So many people today, they make a bet on real estate, particularly like 95% of the people that buy real estate today are getting the shit deals. Mm-hmm. You're just getting garbage. You're getting leftovers.
That's a lack of knowledge?
No, because people are buying on a budget. Yeah. They're buying based on what they can afford. Mm-hmm. You should not buy real estate based on what you could afford. You should buy the best real estate you get your hands on. Yeah. And in the beginning, I was buying what I could afford.
Yeah. Yeah. But from doing all that studying and studying what people were doing, that's how you gain that knowledge?
Yeah, you start realizing, well, first of all, you need a lot of doors. Doors, and the number of doors, how many doors you have, probably like your business, the clothing business.
For sure.
How many different locations can you be in? Yeah. Because if you're in one place, you're dead.
Yeah, mine's doors and shelf space.
There you go. So in real estate, it's doors and locations.
Yeah. Man. I think that self-awareness to, like, I also think a lot of people, there's a line where people preach confidence and just do it and just believe it. But having the awareness to study for 3 years and not just do it and possibly get your ass handed to you and never be able to play again is so important too.
And I was doing it while I was studying. I just wasn't buying deals. Yeah. Because what I was doing was parking money. Every time I met a customer, I was still selling cars. Yeah. Every time I met a customer and they were looking at buying a Corolla, oh, I'm excited. Yeah, yeah. Who's excited about selling a Corolla? Yeah. Okay, every time I'm like, okay, that Corolla's going to pay me $200. Yeah. And I'm going to live on 60 of it. And the other $140 is going to go and buy a piece of real estate. Yeah. So every time I do 140, if I could do that 10 times, then I got $1,400. If I can do it 100 times, I got $14,000. Yeah. I wasn't selling cars any longer. I was getting other people's money to buy my real estate in the future.
Yeah, that's that obsessive mindset.
Well, it's a target, right? Yeah. I had a target, a measurable target, rather than I feel good. Yeah. And life is going to be fair to me.
Yeah. And then what about that process? So you just built it up. You just got more and more units, more and more. Like, how do you go from that? Because I also want to talk about your team and because your environment at your office is incredible. Yeah. How you got from that to the office that I visited, the $1 billion in sales, and you know what I mean? Like, how does that? It's just slow growth.
What the first 20 years from 29 to probably 45 or 40, even maybe 49.
Yeah.
Dude, I was like running scared. I was making money and everything. I had probably, 600 units, 3 businesses. We were making a lot of money, what I thought was a lot of money.
Yeah.
But I was scared all the time. I was always scared, man. I was always scared. I was always running my life on a budget because of the way I was brought up.
Yeah.
And when I was 45, 46 years old, something happened to me. I started looking at, hey, what don't I understand here?
Yeah.
And people were like, oh man, you're so successful. Pat me on the back. Oh my God. I'm like, there's something I don't know here.
Yeah.
Why am I still scared? I got millions of dollars sitting in a bank account.
Yeah.
I own 1,000 apartments. I got 3 businesses that make money, and I have an assistant. I won't spend money on staff. I think I had 4 people working for me. I still won't buy the shit I want.
Yeah.
I'm scared, dude. It's not that I'm cheap. People are like, oh, Cardone's so cheap. I'm not cheap, dude.
Yeah.
I'm not cheap. I'm scared. Right?
And why did that
I'm
change?
flying coach, bro. I flew coach for 3 million miles while I had millions of dollars in a bank account, crossing my fingers, hoping for an upgrade because I'm like, that first class seat costs another $600. I'm not doing it.
Yeah.
Because I was terrified about money because I was miseducated like most of us are about money.
Yeah.
And I was taught to save money. Save your money. Save your money. Don't play with money. Don't waste money.
Yeah.
And so when my buddies were buying Porsches, I was buying a Camry.
Yeah.
And they were going on vacations, flying first class. Dude, I wasn't on a plane till I was 29 years old.
Really?
I wasn't on a private jet till I bought my own.
Really?
I'd never chartered a jet. So I was terrified about money. Part of what led me to real estate was I'm so conservative with my money. Like people see me on YouTube today and they see me taking delivery of the plane. They're like, what a fucking show off. Dude, I have been so conservative with my money for so long.
Yeah.
And like I didn't have a nice watch until I was 40 plus years old.
Yep.
I wouldn't buy a Rolls Royce until I was 50 and didn't get one until I was 54. I could have bought a Rolls Royce like many years ago. Never had a supercar.
Yeah.
Never leased a supercar.
Yeah.
I don't have Richards and, all this shit people have, right? So,
But what changed it? Just
dude,
like
what changed
learning?
it was when I was 45 years old. One thing that really changed, I started studying Scientology when I was 45 years old.
Really?
That thing, that opened me up. Like
Really?
95% of everything that's happening to me today is because of the Church of Scientology.
What did it change? Your mindset?
Dude, it opened me up to like, what have I been thinking? It's like it was like it woke me up to my full potential.
Wow.
What am I doing saving garbage money? It's helped me in my business. I went from 3 businesses to 14. Mm-hmm. Okay. We've added 4 or 5 businesses in the last year. Mm-hmm. I went from owning, I don't know, what do we have, 600 units at the time? To 600 vacancies today, to 6,000 units. Wow. To being worth, $6 or $7 million to having, I don't even know what I'm worth today.
Yeah.
Dude, it's stupid. It's ridiculous. I mean, it's beyond anything I ever dreamed of. And so I think what the church did for me is they just have technology there that starts removing blocks and stops and considerations.
Yeah. And that worked on you.
It worked. It seemed to work pretty good.
And you still do it
I'm
or
married
no?
now. I wasn't married then. I couldn't stay in a relationship.
Yeah.
I always wanted to have kids, but I needed a wife to have kids, right?
Yeah.
Like, I think.
Yeah.
And
Depends on how you go about it.
Yeah. But I always wanted the family thing, and I didn't have that. So we had 4 employees. Now I have 250. We got 129 employees in Miami, another 150 in the real estate. Yep. I mean, I could easily, the next time we sit here, we could easily have 2,000 employees.
Yeah. Yeah.
And they're benefiting. You've been in my environment.
For sure.
Dude, people
and that's
are
what I
freaking,
want to talk about.
People are excited.
Yeah.
People are ethical.
Yeah.
People are present.
So do you still practice Scientology?
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Really?
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
I just feel like I've just never met anyone and actually had a conversation with anyone with just a clear, positive out. It has so much.
Well, you see the tabloids and
yeah.
You see people quit to do TV shows about it.
Yeah.
I remember going to NA meetings, right, and Narcotics Anonymous meetings, and the people in the meetings like, oh, this was great. I really need this tonight. And the people that talk bad about it are the people that quit it.
Yeah.
It didn't work for me.
Yeah. And how long did like if we talk about it as like a transition from having all these blocks to removing them, and all of a sudden shit is growing, how long did that process take? Was it quick?
Look, if I showed you the measurable statistics of my last 30 years,
Yeah.
you're going to see when I turned 45 years old and walked down there and did my first course,
Yeah.
you're going to see numbers on every significant part of my life.
Yeah.
Just do this, like a rocket ride.
Wow.
And look, I wasn't doing bad before.
Yeah.
Like I from when I cleaned up at 25 to 45, everybody was telling me, everybody but Jamie Foxx and Steve Harvey. I mean, everybody that knew me, but nobody knew me.
Yeah.
Like it doesn't matter who you know. It matters who knows you.
Yeah. Yeah.
In life, nobody was delivering me $1 million cars. Hey man, use the car.
Yeah.
But I was doing good.
Yeah.
But who was telling me I was doing good? My mom, my brother, people I grew up with, people I went to high school with. Oh my God, you're doing so good. But I wasn't doing. You know what your potential is. You know you are capable of more than what people typecast you to.
For sure.
So I was typecasted drug addict. Then I was typecasted car salesman. Then I was typecasted guy in the automobile business that changed the auto industry. Well, most of the people today that are meeting me today, they don't know me because of cars. They know me because of real estate. They might know me because of, damn, the guy's a promoter on Instagram.
Yeah.
They might know me because of our big conventions where there's, our conferences, there's 34,000 people there.
Yep.
So I have somehow in the last 15 years, this didn't happen in the first 20 years. It happened in the last 15.
Yeah.
I have figured out how to brand myself into a number of different kind of like silos.
Yeah. And a question too is like, how do you, like you talk about all these typecasting and that I can relate to a lot. How do you define yourself? Like, what are you in your own head? Because I'm guessing you're a guy now that won't be sort of typecasted, at least in your own head. Like, what are what?
Yeah, well, so probably I don't know, dude. Like, I just keep waking up to a new potential all the time.
Yeah.
And this is what a lot of people don't understand about people that continue doing stuff, right? Is the potential.
Yeah.
I'm aware of my potential.
Yeah.
The public's aware of my achievements.
Yeah.
My achievements don't interest me.
Yeah.
My potential interests me.
Got it.
And so today, the way I today know that I am a spiritual being, capable of realms of experiences that I have not even peeked at yet. For whatever reason, I just can't see them.
Yeah.
I just can't, I can't peek around there, right?
Yeah.
I can't see. I never thought I'd have I never even dreamed that I would ever have a jet, my own jet.
Yeah.
I didn't even dream of that, dude. I didn't even think it was possible.
Yeah. I can't imagine that feeling for climbing on that thing. I watched the video of it getting delivered.
Yeah.
You're sitting there with your wife. Like, I just feel like climbing on that thing for the first time had to be like, what? Like, this is another universe.
It is another universe.
Yeah.
And anybody looks at that and says, oh, I don't need all that. Well, you've never been on one.
Yeah.
Because if you're on one, I'm telling you, you fly private one time, you'll never, getting over that.
Yeah.
Okay, literally getting over a guy told me once, he's like, Grant, I know you kick your drug addiction. You'll never kick that Gulfstream. Once you fly like that, you're like, I never want to fly.
No, yeah. I almost wish I had never flown on a private plane. Because now I'm like, man, that's the goal.
Every time you get on Southwest, you're like, I hate this.
I know. It's messed up.
So, but the same thing with my wife and my kids, man. Like, those things were not available to me. I could not. I remember when it was impossible for me to commit to a woman. Okay, I remember when I could not imagine having 2 kids because I was terrified I wouldn't be a good dad. Today I know I'm a great dad.
Yep.
I remember hearing all these guys say, man, you get too big, you're never going to have time for the things that matter. Dude, I have time for everything.
Yeah.
None of that became true for me.
Yeah. Yeah, I get it. So we mentioned real quick, I want to talk about the team. So I went to your office.
Yeah.
And I'm just going to say I take an Uber over there. I'm down there for Art Basel. Go over by myself. Amazing looking office, 10X flag out front. I'm like, okay, sick.
American flag too.
And American flag.
Yeah.
Yep. And
Cardone Capital flag.
there we go. So we got everything covered.
Promoting everything. Dude, we live and die by promotion, by the way. That's our.
You do it well.
Promote.
Yeah, you do it well. So
Number
I walk
one rule,
in,
promote. Number two rule, promote.
So I go in, I see the lady at the desk. Hey, I'm here for an interview with Grant. Okay, cool. Everything seems, quite a bit of people. How many people were in that main office roughly?
129.
129 people. Yeah. So I go in, I sit down on the couch, and I'm a relatively quiet guy. I get up, they say, okay, Grant's ready, walk, and as I'm walking through the thing, everyone turns and let's give it up for drama. Drama in the building, claps for me, everyone on the same page. They give me a tour of the office. Everyone seems so happy. There's your quotes on the walls. They're so proud to work for you.
Yeah.
Here's my question.
I'm a dick too, by the way. Like, I'm hard on people.
Yeah, but
I'm not Mr. Nice Guy at the office.
I get it, but something's working. So my point is, I have a staff of right now 42 people. And it's hard. There's politics going on that I don't even know about. This person hates that person. There's
exactly.
bad energy and I didn't even know it. Someone quits. I thought they were happy.
Yeah.
How have you created this environment that's so supportive of what you're doing?
I don't know. I know it's really probably not. It might be about me a little bit, but probably it's more about Sherry. I got a great COO. She brings the team together every morning. You got to have people around you, dude, that like believe in you more than you believe in you. I got people that Jared believes in me, Ryan believes in me. Those guys, they show up every morning, 9:06. We have a meeting every single day, no matter what.
The whole
There's
team.
Things that happen every day the whole team. Everybody. You're like, if you're not in that meeting, it's because you're not on the team.
Yeah.
So you're not in that meeting twice. You don't work for me.
Yeah.
Now that was not my idea. I frankly don't like going to a meeting every day, But the team needs to be like when Sherry opens the meeting, it's like welcome to work.
Yeah.
And we sell the work thing, dude. Yeah. That work is good, and so number one, it's that ritual every day. Number two, it's we get rid of people, dude.
Yeah.
Like those people you're talking about.
Yeah.
You got to figure out who to get rid of.
Yeah.
People should not quit a company. They should be fired first.
Yeah.
So you got to get rid of people, dude. Firing people is very important.
Yeah.
Firing people is good for them. It's good for the company.
Yeah. Yeah.
You ever been fired from a job?
No.
No, I was fired from 6 jobs.
But it probably
It was good for me,
you a
man.
service.
It was good for me. If they didn't fire me, I was going to quit.
Yeah.
Like it's not like
Yeah.
that guy that left you that you thought was happy.
Yeah.
He didn't leave when he was ready to leave.
Yeah.
He quit 3 or 4 months ago. He'd been thinking about it for 3 or 4 months.
Yeah.
He made a decision probably back last year around November, and then he finally says, "Okay, I finally got the courage to walk out."
But how do you, with 129 people just in that
and
room?
then in the interim, he contaminated people.
100%.
Yeah.
But here's my question: How do you find
graphs? All you got to do is put a guy on a graph.
Yeah.
A guy that's quitting cannot keep his graph up.
Yeah.
You can't keep your graph. Cannot keep an erection if you've quit the relationship.
Yeah. That's good.
You can't keep it, dude. If you're not in love anymore, you cannot get a hard on.
Yeah. And how do you keep?
If you're not into the thing, right? If you're not into the thing, you can't.
Yeah.
You don't have a medical issue, dude. You're not there anymore. So when if you would just graph your people's activity, like this guy's got to do a podcast every day, right? Mm-hmm. Boom. Next thing you know, he didn't do 2 this week. Mm-hmm. Oh, dude. Mm-hmm. That happens 2 weeks in a row. Well, you got an issue, man. Mm-hmm. He can't keep his graph up because he's lost interest in the deal because his interest is going some other place. Mm-hmm. So you just bring him out into the public, into the center of the room, execute him right there.
Is that what you do?
Ask him to leave the premises, escort him, and let so you go from 40 to 39. And the other 39 tend to co-gel.
Oh, man. And that's what a ritual probably adds, a real team bond for the ones who survive.
Totally. They're like, God damn, man, that's good.
Like, shit.
Dude, we had a guy, Greg, okay? Greg's girlfriend came to the 10X Growth Conference and said, oh, my God, you got to see this guy. Greg comes to the deal. Greg's probably going to watch this and see it. Greg, I hope you do, dude. And so Greg comes to the 10X Growth Conference. He's like, God damn, I need to be part of your team. Comes to be part of the team. I gave this guy an opportunity to make millions of dollars. He comes in, something happened to the dude. I tell Jared, I said, Jared, his stats crash.
Yeah.
Firing. Yeah. We need him. I said, no, I don't need somebody wrecking cars and crashing stats, dude. Yeah. I go to Sherry. Let him go. Well, he's serving a purpose. No, dude, I'm telling you guys, let this guy go. He ain't here anymore.
Yeah.
Then we find out he was actually shopping jobs in the interim.
Yeah.
So finally, I go outside of Jared and Sherry, and I get somebody to say, hey, just let that guy go.
Yeah.
We let him go. He's all pissed off about it, of course. God damn, I can't believe y'all doing this. And he'd been looking at other jobs, dude.
Yeah. Yeah,
So,
when you're right, you're right.
And I did him a favor. Goddamn ribs. I did him a favor. You see, I did him a favor, dude, because now he can blame me now, but he's gonna have to confront. He's got to go back and find a job now.
Yeah.
And he's gonna have to get passionate about that job, or he's gonna keep doing this deal.
Yeah. That's good stuff. Okay, and then the other thing I want to talk about is all the gross stuff, the book, the conference, the content. I was mentioning, and I want to say it again, the video of yours that really, I mean, I love all your content, but the video of yours that really got me was the one where you're getting the plane delivered. And the reason why was because it really felt, at least in that video, like you're sitting there with your wife, you watch the thing pull up.
Yeah.
Like I said to you before we started recording, you see people on private jets and you see people wishing for private jets. It's very rare that you see the moment the guy got the jet delivered.
Yeah. We should title it different, by the way.
You should, man. I saved it. I have a folder of most inspirational videos.
Oh, wow.
And I saved that
We
one.
need to change the title of that. Like, he's making a good point. Nobody ever shows the delivery.
Yeah, and I think the lesson is you do a really good job when you're talking about the stuff you went through and how you're a normal guy that figured it out and that blah, blah, blah. But showing look, today I'm getting this and it's not all about this, but this is what it looks like. This is what it feels like.
Yeah,
so
a lot of people hate me for those videos and stuff. Right?
I don't know, man. I think the people that hate you are the people that are upset that they're not on the path. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, maybe so.
It doesn't matter if you're rich or not. If you feel like you're on the path to getting a Rolls Royce, you're going to respect the guy who just got a Rolls Royce. Yeah. But anyway, my point is, all of the content stuff and all of the conferences and what's the goal? Is it to show other people that they are capable of that?
The goal really is to number one to be known. Mm-hmm. I mean, Number one goal is to be known. Like, if you don't know me, we can't do anything together.
Yep.
Like, it's impossible. I can't do good. I can't do bad. I can't do anything. Mm-hmm. So I make a joke. I made a joke. I was doing a conference yesterday. I said, guys, look, Jesus was a show off. Mm-hmm. I mean, let's keep it real. Mm-hmm. You guys need to learn how to show off. Yeah. And they're like, huh? Like big Christian crowd, right? Huh? Like everybody frowned. I'm like, hey, guy walked in water. Yeah. Come on. Yeah. Okay. He turns what? Bread into wine and something into fish, and
you gotta get your message out.
Turn the blind guy, and then hung out on the cross for 3 days.
Yeah,
I mean, it was 3 days. It wasn't quick. It's showing off, man. Yeah. Look at what I can do. Yeah. And so if I don't know you, if he had not done that, dude, we wouldn't even know this cat's name. Yeah. And so you got to show off, or you got to get somebody to show off what you're doing. Mm-hmm. So the first goal is to be known. Mm-hmm. I can't get a real estate deal from Goldman Sachs if they don't know me and trust me. Mm-hmm. First thing, I got to get them to know me, not trust me. Because if they don't know me, they can't trust me. Mm-hmm. So the first goal at our company is promote, promote, promote. Mm-hmm. First 3 rules: promote, promote, promote. Yep. And the Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, the video of the plane, the video of a watch collection, me doing a deal for $100 million, whatever I'm doing, right? Teaching somebody something, taking a phone call for $15, showing somebody how to close a deal, handling a customer complaint, putting on a conference. All those things are designed, number one, to promote, right? And then once we promote, then the ultimate goal at our company is to help other people. Like the thing we measure, the statistic that we measure is how many people are using our products and saying it helped them. Mm-hmm. It's not money. Money is not my financial target.
Because that was my point is there's a difference between, you can see people who are strictly promoting and people who are, there's something in there that you're really trying to, like 10X growth, the book, and that's very real information that I'm guessing people must come up to you all the time and say, Grant, you changed my life.
Yeah.
And so...
And so like if everybody really understood my game, which a lot of people don't because I don't do a good job of explaining it. I'm a little noisy. There's a lot going on, right? So it's like, but Look, if you understood my financial situation, you'd be like, why would the guy spend time doing a show on Wednesdays about relationships?
Yeah.
Why would he do a show on Mondays about real estate? Like, if you understood the amount of money, like when you start talking about a $10 billion company with real estate, if you were an accountant, you'd be like, all you should do is buy real estate. You shouldn't do any of this dumbass stuff with Instagram and Facebook.
Yeah.
Or go out and do a YouTube video of you taking delivery of your plane. Yeah. All you should do is buy and sell real estate. But look, my whole life turned around when I started helping other people. Mm-hmm. First, I had to help myself. I went to a treatment center. When I came out of that treatment center, I was either selling somebody something or I was in a meeting trying to help another guy get off of drugs.
Yep.
And for 30 years now, that has kept me from screwing up my life, helping other people.
Yep. Okay, here's the last two big ones.
Uh-oh.
You can travel back in time.
Yeah.
Run into young Grant. Let's say you're...
Wish I could travel back in time.
Where would you go if you could go anywhere? What time period in your life?
Oh, in this lifetime?
In your life.
This lifetime?
Yeah.
Wow, man. I would want to go back to like 35.
And what would you change?
I was living in La Jolla.
Uh-huh.
Man, I'd want to know what I know now, dude. I'd want to know, like, oh my God, I'd be a $10 billion company right now, dude.
Yeah. Yeah.
I wouldn't save money. I mean, hey, Grant, don't save money, dude. Use money.
That's such an important difference.
Dude, use money, dude. Money's useless. I was stacking cash. I'm like, why am I stacking money? Like, what are you doing, bro?
Yeah.
Get that money to work. All of it. Number two thing I tell myself is push it all into that real estate game.
Yeah.
Okay. Third thing, advertise and brand, dude. Spend all the money getting people to know you. Get everybody to know you. Go spend money to get around the players. Yeah. Quit hanging out with the group you know.
Yeah.
Like, I would tell him so much, man. Like, those three things right there would be a game changer.
Yeah, that's big. I love the differentiation between don't save money, use money. And I think that, like, I met a lot of successful people that are still super cheap, for lack of a better word.
They're mooches, dude.
Yeah.
I know people that are rich that act like they're poor.
Yeah.
You know, I know guys with millions of dollars that are misers.
But that's talked about like such a. Like,
I know guys that are rich, dude, that jack into the government programs for food stamps and bullshit. Yeah. Like it's a fucked up mentality about money, and it was forced on society for a reason. I mean, the banks did it. It benefited the banks. Save your money, save your money, save your money. A penny saved is a penny earned. Yeah. All this shit was propagated by the banks because they're like, they convinced us to keep our money at their bank.
Yeah.
And they don't pay us anything.
Yeah. It's just funny because people look at that. When you hear about a rich guy who spends like he's broke, it's championed. But there's another level of that. I feel like. There's like an expert level, which is,
but then you see Elon.
Could be using
Elon, right? He cashes out for $180 million. He puts $100 million in Tesla, $80 million in
was it SpaceX?
Yeah, SpaceX, and 10 or 15 million in the leftover the Bohr, whatever it was.
Yeah, boring company. Yeah.
And he had to borrow money to rent.
Yeah.
That's the way to play the game.
Yeah. Okay.
But being responsible. He's not buying Hublots, by the way. He's not buying Hermes. Yeah. He's not buying any of this. He's not buying Rolls Royces. Yeah. He might have taken delivery of a McLaren or something after his big score, but big deal. He had a big score.
Yeah.
I know guys taking delivery of McLarens and they ain't scored nothing. Ain't even been on the field yet.
Yeah. Good stuff. Last one.
Yeah.
You can prescribe the world anything that they have to do for 30 days and they have to do it.
Dude, that's a great question.
What is it?
What do they have to do for 30 days? Man. Well, one is like anything you do every day is going to benefit you. Right? Mm-hmm. Like I like the idea that they got to do it every day for 30 days. Mm-hmm. Like I work out, right? When I work out every day, it's good for me. When I work out 3 days a week, I don't get any benefits. Like, because I'm going to quit. So what would the one thing be? I would write your goals down every day.
Yep.
Fresh. Yep. And write them down in present time. Like when I write them down, I'm like, I own a $10 billion company, even though I don't. Mm-hmm. You know, we distribute $15 million a month to our investors. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. My ultimate last goal, I'll just add this.
Yeah, please.
You know, I want it in the 20 seconds we have.
Yeah, we're right on time.
I
don't think I've ever hit perfectly on time.
Watch this, I'll finish it just perfect. I'm gonna send people more money every month than I've ever taken from people. Yeah. That's my new goal.
Yeah.
15 million a month's our target to send out to our investors. Mm-hmm. A month, that's 180 million a year. Damn.
We nailed it, man. Grant, listen, I can't thank you
you're
enough.
awesome, dude.
It's early morning on a freaking Saturday. You squeeze me in. Have fun out here, man. And tell Jamie Foxx we said what's up.
I will.
And enjoy that fucking super truck.
Yeah, thank you, buddy.
I'll see you soon.
Okay.
Guys, if you like that and you want to see more like it, as well as vlogs, other web series, and all the random stuff that I'm doing here on YouTube, don't forget to click that subscribe button. You won't regret it, I promise.